I opened the door before the bell finished ringing. They were already smiling. That's when I knew they hadn't recognized the house as mine yet. Their laughter died first. Then the color drained from their faces, slow, like a bad investment realizing it had gone bankrupt. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I just stepped aside and said, "You're late." 10 years of silence stood behind me in polished marble and glass. Once, I was the reliable one, the one who showed up early, the one who brought gifts, remembered birthdays, paid bills quietly when others forgot. I wasn't rich then. I was comfortable, married, working, believing family meant something solid. Every summer there was a reunion, every winter a holiday dinner, photos posted, stories told. I learned I wasn't invited through tagged pictures and accidental mentions. "Oh, we thought you were busy." Every year the excuse aged worse. 10 years of absence dressed up as coincidence. At first, I assumed it was a mistake, then a misunderstanding. Then I noticed the pattern. Group chats I wasn't in, plans discussed in rooms that went quiet when I entered, my calls returned days later, if at all. When my father died, they handled everything without me. The will arrived already settled. My name missing, not crossed out, never written in. That omission cut deeper than anger. It clarified everything. I didn't confront then, I listened. 2. The first red flag wasn't cruelty, it was convenience. They needed me when paperwork was complicated. When signatures mattered, when someone had to be reasonable. But when there was celebration, they forgot my address. I watched the way they spoke about legacy while quietly removing me from it. I noticed how assets shifted, how properties changed hands during reunions I wasn't invited to. They assumed exclusion would exhaust me. That I'd complain, beg, disappear. They were right about one thing: I disappeared. The betrayal crystallized on a random Tuesday. A lawyer called me by mistake. He asked for confirmation on a trust restructuring I supposedly approved. A trust tied to my father's estate. I hadn't approved anything. When I requested the documents, my hands didn't shake. My voice didn't rise. Something cold and precise took over. That night, I stopped being hurt. I started being exact. Silence became my weapon. I pulled records, emails, signatures, old financial statements buried in archives they assumed no one would check. They had forged approvals, moved funds, used family gatherings as cover for transactions. They didn't steal loudly. They stole politely. I documented everything: dates, times, intent. I didn't rush. I let interest compound legally and emotionally. While they toasted each other at reunions, I built something quiet. I sold what I owned, bought what appreciated, invested where they never looked. I learned the difference between appearing wealthy and being untouchable. I hired the best people, the kind who don't gossip, don't warn, don't blink. Every move was measured, every step deniable. I didn't want revenge fueled by rage. I wanted it notarized. Years passed, my name resurfaced only as an afterthought. Then something shifted. Money tightened for them. Deals fell through. Loans were denied. They couldn't figure out why opportunities dried up the moment they touched them. They never suspected the ghost they'd erased was reading every balance sheet. The invitation came disguised as reconciliation. A message from my sister, warm, careful. Too late. She said they wanted to fix things. That family mattered more than misunderstandings. I didn't reply. 2 weeks later, they showed up at my gate. That's when the bell rang. I watched their faces register the scale of the house behind me. Recognition dawned slowly. Fear followed. My brother tried to laugh. My mother clutched her purse like it could protect her. I said nothing. I let them talk. Apologies came out rehearsed. Blame was shared broadly. No one took responsibility. They thought this was about forgiveness. That's the mistake people make when they underestimate patience. I invited them inside. The table was already set, folders laid out neatly, names labeled. Their names. I sat at the head without ceremony. I spoke calmly. Each sentence landed like a signature. I explained the audits, the findings, the pending litigation. I showed them copies of documents they didn't remember forging, emails they deleted, accounts they assumed were invisible. I watched comprehension hit. One by one, they understood the order of events had reversed. My brother stood up. I didn't stop him. The security system locked the doors automatically. I hadn't programmed it for drama, just efficiency. I told them what would happen next. Assets frozen, charges filed, public records updated. I wasn't taking everything, just returning balance. The rest would be handled by professionals far less patient than me. They pleaded. I stayed still. They accused me of cruelty. I reminded them of 10 years, 10 birthdays, 10 holidays, 10 summers of silence. I told them exclusion is a decision. Consequences are just its echo. When they left, they didn't look back. The house felt quiet, not empty. I stood alone in the doorway long after the gate closed. Revenge didn't feel explosive. It felt complete. I didn't rebuild my life to prove anything. I built it so no one could erase me again. They taught me what family does when they think you're small. I taught them what happens when you stay silent long enough to grow. I closed the door gently. The bell never rang again.